6 because we want it 0 on the other side. Tell me how to write this in order.
X squared plus 8 minus 6.
Keep going. Yes. Okay. Katie, what do we do from here? Factor. Okay. We factor, finding factors of what number? Good. So what two numbers are those? 3 and negative 2's correct. Because when you multiply them, they give you negative 6. When you add, they give you that 1. Then I set both of these equal to 0, and my x's will be what? Alright, now we need to make a what? Number line, and what goes on first? And I don't know where you get 0 from. You can put 0 on there if you want to. You don't have to. How many sections is this number line broken up into? 3. Okay, Kelsey, tell me the interval for this first one.
What do you mean?
So where would this stop at on the left side?
Negative infinity.
Good. And it's broken into stopping right here. So this number is? Will this have a parentheses or bracket? How do we know that?
Because it doesn't have a line.
Good. Alright, tell me the next section, anybody? Next. Alright, give me a test point. Test point here. Test point here. You can use 1 if you want. 0 is just easier. We're plugging this into the problem that is less than or equal to 0. And we're plugging it in for what? X. Do you want to do it out loud or on your own?
Out loud.
Out. Okay. I'll do the first one out loud, then you'll do the other two on your own. Plugging in negative 4. What's negative 4 squared? Minus 4. Minus 6.
Oh.
6. Try it again. Negative 4 squared. 16 plus 4. Or actually minus 4. 12 minus 6. 6. Is 6 less than 0? So put an X. Do the other two on your own. Plug them in. If it's less than 0, put a check mark. If it's not, then put an X. And again, you're plugging these numbers in for X. Yes.
Why isn't like the negative 3 choose the bracket?
Because this one right here doesn't have a bar underneath.
Alright.
Alright, did the second section work when we plug in 0?
Yeah.
What about 3?
No.
Alright, so let's draw our solution on the number line. There's going to be open or closed circle on 3 and 2.
Oh.
And it's going to be shaded. Yes. So our final answer in interval notation will be written how?
Negative 3.
Yeah, negative 3, 2. Do I need a U in this one? No, because it's only one section that is shaded in. Does everybody feel good about these? Yes. Pretty much if you know how to factor, these are easy. Alright, flip it over. Those were called polynomial inequalities. These are rational inequalities because they have letters on the bottom. So it's not much different except for it does have a fraction in it. Okay? So think about how we started off our other ones. We had to make this side 0, right? So we need to subtract what? Okay. 2x minus, or excuse me, x plus 1 minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. Well, how can we subtract these? You don't know what to do to subtract fractions? They have to have the same what? Denominator. Okay? Right now, this denominator is what? We need to make them both be x plus 1. Okay? So this one we don't need to change. I'm going to write that and leave it the same. But this one, if I change the bottom to x plus 1, what is the top going to become? Think about it. I had to multiply this 1 by x plus 1, right? So I got to multiply the top by x plus 1. That's going to give me what? X plus 1. It's subtracting the whole thing. We'll distribute the negative in a minute. Okay? Alright, when I subtract fractions, do I do anything with the denominator? No. So it stays the same. But what about the top? Can I combine it? Yes. But first I have to distribute this what? So up top it'll be 2x minus 1, correct? 2x minus x minus 1. The 2x came from the original. So on top I'll have what?
X minus 1.
Over.
X plus 1.
And now we can say greater than or equal to.
1.
Mm,
No, sorry. I have no idea.
good. Moved it over so it's a 0 on that side.
Gotcha.
I want you to put a box around this one. Any questions about what we just did?
Where did you do the 1 over again?
Right here in the beginning when I subtracted 1 from both sides,
Okay.
and then I changed the denominator, combined like terms,
Okay.
and now it's good. Okay, on this one what we do is we set the top and bottom equal to 0 to find out our solutions. So if I set the top equal to 0 and solve, I'll have x equals what? And on the bottom? Very good. Now we make our number line. So kind of the same process, except it's got some fractions involved, that's all. So our number line, what comes first? Good. So it's broken up into 3 sections, correct? So Amber, what's my first section as inequalities? Or excuse me, as interval notation? Good. And will this have a bracket or parentheses, you would think?
Bracket.
The only reason why it doesn't have a bracket, okay?
Wait, what?
Doesn't have a bracket. Look at this one. If this was equal to -1, it'd give us a 0 on bottom, which is what? Can't have a 0 on bottom, right? It's undefined. So that's why we can never include the one that's going to make it undefined. So write that down.
So you just set x minus 1 and x plus 1 equal to 0?
Yes. Put a circle on -1, because that's what makes it undefined, so we cannot include it. Open circle. But we can include this one, so we put a closed circle. And again, we can't include it, because when we plug it in, we'll get a 0 on bottom. So this one's actually parentheses right here. Tell me the next section, the middle section. -1 and 1, but which one has a bracket, which one has parentheses? I don't know what you just said, but parentheses on this side, bracket on this side. And then the last one's going to be from what? 1 to infinity. Alright, Kaya, give me a test point between these two numbers.
-2.
Give me a test point between these two numbers, anybody?
0.
Test point between these two numbers? 2. And which one are we plugging these into for x? Not the original one, right? This one. Okay, so we can do the first one together if you want to, out loud, and then you can do the rest on your own. What's -2 minus 1? What is -2 plus 1? Say it again. -1, right? Divide them, you'll get 3. Is 3 greater than or equal to 0? Alright, try the other two on your own. Again, you're plugging them into this one. This one. So plug in 0 for x on top and bottom. So they'll pretty much cancel out, right? So -1 divided by 1. Try to go. -1. Yep. And is -1 greater than or equal to 0? Yes, so it would be x right there. I'll try the next one. Good job. Did it work for the second interval? What about the third?
It did work for a second, didn't it?
Let's see. 0 minus 1? 0 plus 1? What's -1 divided by 1?
So you can't plug it into the original one?
Correct. You have to plug it in the one where it's greater than or equal to 0. Everybody good with those? Let's show how it looks on our number line. So this means it's going to be shaded in this interval and this one. And now to write my final answer in interval notation.
-1.
Nope. Negative infinity, -1. What else? U, and then bracket 1 infinity. Good.
Would it not be a bracket on where it says -1?
Why wouldn't it be a bracket right here? No, tell me why.
-1 is then 5.
Yeah, if you plug in -1, Colby, on bottom it'll be 0 on bottom. We can't have 0 on bottom. So that's why we can't include it. Any other questions?
Okay, when do you and do you not put into U?
Oh, when it's two of them, when it's two different shaded lines, shaded portions, you put the U. When it's just one shaded portion, like this one, you don't use the U.
Okay.
Alright, do y'all want to do B or C together? Because you're going to do one of them on your own. B together? Okay. So we got to subtract the what? 2. Let's go ahead and do that first before we find a common denominator. So -2. And it's minus because I just move it over. Alright, what would be the common denominator here? Yes. So I'm going to leave the x plus 1 over x plus 3 the same. And don't I have to multiply this top and bottom by x plus 3? So I'm going to write it in parentheses first. -2 parentheses what? Over? Yes. Got to multiply that top by x plus 3 and the bottom by x plus 3. What do we do with the bottom? Yes. Alright, this top would be x plus 1. What else? Plus 6 or minus 6? Yes, minus 6, because you got to distribute that -2. Everybody with me? Alright, tell me what the top's going to be then. -x minus 5 over x plus 3 is greater than or equal to what 2 now? 0. I'll give you time to copy that. Everybody good so far? Yes, you are. So now we set what to the 0? Top and bottom. So the bottom's going to give me x equals what? I was asking about the bottom, but you also gave me the top. That's okay. The top's going to give me what? Yes. So -5 and -3. The 5, would it be positive? On the number line? What comes first on the number line? -5. Alright, tell me the 3 intervals we're going to use. Or first, open or close circle on 5. -5. Closed. Open or closed right here? Open. Why? It would make the bottom undefined. It would make it 0. Because -3 plus 3 is 0. You cannot divide by 0. Because it would be undefined. Okay. So my 3 intervals are -infinity to -5, -5 to -3, -3 to infinity. Alright, Darren, give me a test point between these two. On this one, it's got to be less than -5, right?
What?
So what's less than -5? Yeah. Yes, Solomon.
Why, in the third interval, why is there a parentheses before the -3?
Because if you plug in -3 to the bottom, -3 plus 3 will be what?
That's 0.
Good. We can't have 0 on bottom, so we can't include 3. That's why there's a parentheses. Because we can't include it.
Okay.
Alright, give me a test point on this one, anybody? Yeah, we can use that. And 0. Good. I want you to test these on your own. Which one do we plug them into?
Original.
No.
We'll just use
This one.
-5.
Yes, go ahead. So plug them in, put a check mark or an X mark depending on which ones work. Everybody done checking them? Plugging them in? No? Yes. What? And I gave you October, but I got November. I'll do that at the end. Thank you for reminding me. Alright, did these first one work? -6?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. -6 plugged into a negative x will make a what? 6 minus 5? And then -6 plus 3? And it really doesn't matter what this is. Is a negative ever going to be greater than or equal to 0? No. Alright, what about 4? -4, did it work? Yes. What about 0? So our solution is in between here. And tell me how to write my final answer. Good. And then -3 with a parentheses. Everybody good? You're going to try C on your own. Go ahead and try C on your own. Then we'll go over the answer. You're about to do a checkpoint on this. So if you don't know how to do this, ask me for help now. Because on the checkpoint, you're not going to ask me for help. It's going to be on your own. So if you need help, ask me now. So far? Don't forget this 2 in the negative is going to be negative, right? That is positive on this side, it's going to be negative over here. And now we're dividing with the x, now distribute the -2. That make what? Perfect. Now combine the like terms on top. So it's x minus 2x. There's a 1 right here, right? There's 1 minus 2. Yes. So it'd be negative x plus 2. Well, 2 came from here, negative x came from here. Over x plus. On this, you don't change this. These stay the same. So it'll be over x minus 1. Greater than 0. Now set the top and bottom equal to 0 because that's right here. Perfect. So you don't need 2 of them. It's just minus 2 times x minus 1. You put an extra 1 in there. You get what I'm saying? When you move this 2 over, it is negative. You don't need 2 of them. Start with that. Okay, now cook your test points. Anybody done yet? All of you check all of yours? How much is that middle one? You are. Let's go. You're doing good. What's x minus 2x? No. What's 1 minus 2? And so it'll be negative x. You can combine them, right? No. Hold on. Whatever you multiply the bottom by, which you multiply by x minus 1 by, you gotta multiply the top by. So this 2 should be times x minus 1. Distribute this negative 2 to both of these, and then combine like that. So you just need x minus 1 on both of them. Go ahead. Anybody? So we go copy your x minus 1 over here. Alright, let's start going over this one together. Okay, y'all help me out. What's the first thing I need to do?
Subtract 2.
Subtract 2. Good. So I'd have x over x minus 1 minus 2 greater than 0. What's the common denominator? So I have to multiply top and bottom by x minus 1, right? This is how it's going to look. Minus 2 times x minus 1 over x minus 1. Would everybody agree? Okay. So what stays the same? The bottom. On top, I would have x minus 2x. What else? Plus 2. So my final simplified version would be is good. Alright, did everybody get that part? Okay, any questions about that before I move on? Colby, what do I do from here? Good. So if I set negative x plus 2 to 0, I have to subtract the 2, correct? And then divide by. So x equals, this one x equals. Alright, did everybody get that part? Go ahead and copy it down if you did. Any questions about that part? Okay, now I make my number line. What goes first on it? 1, because it's smallest, definitely. Open or close circle on the 2. Good, because there's no bar. What about on 1? It's going to be 1 regardless. I mean, open regardless. Okay? Alright, now for my intervals. Tell me my first one. It'd be negative infinity to what? Next one? 1 to 2 and... Alright, what is in between these two?
I said 0.
Yeah, that'll work, because 0 is less than 1. What about these two?
I said
1/2 or 1.5, right? On this one? 3. Alright, I'll give y'all time to copy that down, and we're going to check these out loud together, because some people kept messing up on some of them. Alright, if I plug in 0 in, let's do it out loud. Won't everything cancel out except 2 over negative 1? What's 2 over negative 1? Is that greater than 0?
No.
So that one won't work. Alright, 1.5. Let's see. Negative 1.5 plus 2 is going to be what? Say it again. 0.5 or negative 0.5? I hear some different things. 0.5 divided by, and then this on bottom would be 1.5 minus 1. And that's going to be what? 1. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes. I made a boo-boo. And then number on 3, did y'all plug that one in yet? On your own? Did it work? No. Okay. We can do it out loud. What's negative 3 plus 2? Negative 1 over 2? Doesn't matter because it's negative. Negative's not going to be greater than 0. So my answer will be between here, and final answer will look like what? 1, 2. Very good. Good question. So Jalen said, how do we get these numbers? What you do is pick numbers between here. So if it's going to negative infinity, that means anything less than 1. And a number less than 1 is 0. 1 between here would have to be 1.5. A number greater than 2 would be 3. So you can pick any number. This could be like 500 if you wanted to, as long as it's greater than 2. It just wouldn't be fun to plug in. Alright, any questions before you work on your checkpoint? Alright, just one question for the checkpoint. Get out one blank sheet of paper and put your name on it. One blank sheet of paper. No, you can use your notes on this. One blank sheet of paper. Put at the top 3.6 checkpoint. 3.6 checkpoint. I'll write that down. Yes. The inequality did not have a bar underneath it. See how it's, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Here's the problem. And it's one of the ones that we were working on yesterday and finished up today. So this is not rational. This is a polynomial inequality. So this is on the front of your notes. And here's your problem. Solve that. So these are like on the front side of your notes. Whenever you get done, raise your hand, I'll come grab it. You have to have the number line and also the interval notation. If it's correct, I'll take it up. If not, you'll keep working on it. This is for a quiz grade, so if you talk, it'll be a 0. Yeah, you'll write that on your blank sheet of paper, plus 3.6 checkpoint. Make sure your name's on it, because I can take it up. And we're done after this, so after you finish your checkpoint, you can pack up.